Hi everyone and welcome to a video. It's a video response on a bit of controversy that's going around the internet at the minute. I'm sure you will have seen my autofocus video, and there's been a few autofocus videos and a bit of autofocus confusion going around the internet. So I thought that I'd have my 2 cents worth. Just before I go any further, the people's name I'm going to use in this video is Matt. His name's Matt and Photo Joseph. Now I am going to say that I'm not going to slag anybody off. It's just I'm a YouTuber, they're YouTubers. We all have our opinions. It doesn't mean that he's right, I'm right, and she's wrong. It's just our opinions. But I do know that I do a lot of videos and people do like it because I'm from Leeds and I'm a Yorkshire lad and I'm very straightforward and I tell things as it is. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get a penny off of anybody. So I can say what I like and what I feel and what I think and what I see. Now, I will tell you that just for the purpose of the video, I'm at f2.8, 30th of a second, face detection, +1 and +1 on the custom function settings. If you're interested, I've got the 35 to 100 on f2.8 and it's at 35mm. I'm not going to piss around for now, jumping in and out and doing all this. I'm just going to stand here and do a YouTube video, which is, by the way, I use it for weddings, but I also use it as a bit like a vlogging camera and a bit for my YouTube videos. So I will wander in and out though while I'm doing the video, just so we can see what the autofocus system's like. But I have done a focus video if you want to have a look, and it did perform very well. And I've done a few more and it performed very well. But I've also had situations where it hasn't performed very well. But anyway, let's just jump on to this video. The bloke called Matt did a video test which were fantastic. He did a focus test a bit like mine, but slightly more intensive than mine. And he also did another test where he tested it again, not the GH5. He tested the GH5 Autofocus against the A6500. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's no two ways about it. The A6500 knocked the knobs off the GH5. Simple as that. We could end the video now, but we're not gonna, because I've got more to say. But the A6500 beat it. And I think this is why Matt, actually, I don't know if he called it crappy autofocus or sloppy. He called it a name, but I don't know what it is. But he wasn't happy with it anyway. He was happy with the camera. He just wasn't happy with the autofocus. Now we all know we've got DSLRs and we've got cameras, and we're not happy with certain things in the camera. Doesn't mean that we don't love the camera. I love my GH5 and I wouldn't sell it for love nor money. I absolutely think it's my best camera I've ever had. But that of the autofocus, I think in 2017 it could be better. I don't know why it's not better, but it isn't, and that's the truth. But in some situations it works really well. It's nice and smooth if you get the custom setting right. But then you can get the custom setting right, walk back into the scene like I'm doing now and do the same thing again, and it just goes to shit. And it's just like, all right, I worked for you 10 minutes ago, but I'm not going to work for you now because I'm busy. But anyway, so this is why I think that Matt said it was a bit crappy compared, because the A6500, he was sort of walking towards the camera, like more or less running towards the camera, and it was keeping everything in focus. It was just following like a fly round shit. It was brilliant, and the GH5 doesn't. Now, I think that maybe Photo Joseph, because you're sponsored by Panasonic, you're not going to stand there and slag it off, and you know you're not. And you've actually said you're not in one of your videos. You actually said, clear as day, I'm not going to slag it off because, you know, that's not what I do. I'll try find a workaround. I do like that statement. I'll try find a workaround. That's a very good statement. But to be fair, as I'm doing now, I'm trying to find a workaround to make mine a little bit better, to where I can get it, where I know where I can use it and where I can't use it. But the point is, finding a workaround for a camera that was £2,200 and in 2017, it's a bit of a shitty lame excuse, because it's a 2017 camera. There's loads of cameras with face detection on that work fantastically, i.e. the 6500. It works like fly round shit, man. So what's wrong with the GH5? What you're trying to do is make it better because it's not right in the first place. That's all you try to do with these custom settings. Now, please don't take me on, I'm not slagging you off, mate. I love your videos and I'm subscribed to you and I'll continue to watch them. And I watched them before I got my GH5 and I think that you do a fantastic job and I love your videos. But I'm just disagreeing with this. Well, you'll know there's no in it anyway, that it's just me disagreeing with you. But you're basically trying to fix it. And yes, the custom setting is there, and you did state in one of your videos that something about with great, I can't remember what it is now, with great autofocus or something, it becomes great response, with great power needs great responsibility. That's not exactly true, because it's not great power and you don't need great responsibility. All you're doing with those two settings is speeding up the autofocus and you're telling it how keen to lock onto something. That's it. Two settings, very simple. It's not complex, it's not advanced, it's been out a long, long time on the Canon 7D Mark II, the Canon 7D I even think had it in. I think even the 70D, the 80D, you can adjust the way that it focuses and you can tell it to be more keen and more quicker, or you can tell it to be more slower. So it might be new to Panasonic, but it's not new technology, it's actually pretty old. And to be honest, I think Panasonic might have confused it a bit. They could, I mean, I think you said this as well yourself, that they could make it a little bit more simpler. I mean, I think one slider left to right saying more for vlogging and talking headshots, and then to left have 1 to 7 to right, 1 to 7 to left, for more action, like skateboarders, BMXing, motorbiking. It'd be dead easy to simple down. Now, I'm not saying that me personally needs that setting, but they could simplify it. No matter where you put them settings, it's not perfect. It does get good in some situations, and in other situations, like I've had mine working great, then all of a sudden it just won't focus. For now, in the same scenario, I can go up to the camera, put the settings where it were fantastic 10 minutes previous, walk back out into this framing and it won't focus. Now, sometimes pressing the shutter button, I've found out, and letting it grab your face does help. But obviously I'm sort of vlogging now, I'm really far away from camera. I mean, I can get my iPad and connect it wirelessly, which I may sometimes do for YouTube videos, but at a wedding, mind you, at a wedding you stood behind it so you can touch your screen. But all I'm trying to say is that you're a Panasonic rep and I think your judgment's a bit clouded because of that. And I think that when you fly over to Matt, you're not going to fix his camera because it doesn't need fixing. There's no wrong with it. It's just that the autofocus is not as good as the A6500, and I think that's where Matt's basically calling it lame. If you asked him if he'd never used the 6500 and he'd just used the GH5 over the GH4 and the GH3 and the G7 and the G80, which I also own, I think he'd go, wow, it's superior over those. But because there's much better out there that is used, because he reviews a lot more cameras than, I don't know, than you, but it's better definitely than me, and I think he does review more than you as well, from what I've led to believe. He's used a lot better. So he is gonna, if I could get my hands on a GH6 now, and it worked as good as the A6500, I'd say the GH5 was shit. But at the minute, I've only viewed a 70D and an 80D, and they are superior compared to this GH5. The 70D's been working for years and it works great, and I know some of the Sonys work great as well, but on the other hand, some of the Sonys overheat. There's no way I'd want to buy a camera that won't stay going. And I love my GH5 all the same, and I'm pretty sure Matt liked his GH5, but you know, your video sort of contradicts our videos in saying that it's pretty darn good if you just know what you're doing. But that's not true. It's not true. I know what I'm doing, and I know that Matt knows what he's doing, and I know that you know what you're doing. But the difference between the three of us is you're sponsored by them. If Panasonic rang me after watching this video and went, right, John, change your take on our cameras. We're going to send you another GH5 with all the trimmings, the lenses. We want you to use our products for your weddings, you and your team, and I want you to review them and blah, 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 blah. But I don't want you to be truthful. I'd say take your cameras back. That's how I am. I'm a straightforward kind of guy. I wouldn't talk out my arse. I'd say take cameras back. I'll buy one and then I'll slag it off if it needs slagging off. If it don't need slagging off, don't need slagging off. If it needs slagging off, it needs slagging off. But all I'm saying is no cameras are perfect. And I personally believe that when you fly over to Matt, that you're not gonna you're not going to do anything different than he's done. What I believe is you might go to a scene and you might play with it and you go, look at that, Matt. And he'll go, hey, that's it. Then he'll walk round the corner and it won't work. In the self-same scenario, an headshot, walking in and out. And it won't work, because that's what I found out what's happened to me. And it happens on my mate's GH5 as well. And I'm sure that all GH5s are different. The autofocus system is the same in them all. And another statement that you made that I didn't agree with was when you was doing your thingy, you said it isn't very often that people walk up to the camera like this. Now, I will tell you, sorry about the exposure, I put it in manual ISO, because auto ISO kept just... I don't know what it was doing, but it kept going really dark. I'm just going to move back anyway because I look a bit bright. And we'll see how it got on, but it's obviously... that happens to me all the time. I shoot weddings and people are always walking towards the camera. They're not walking sideways like this. If there was, I could focus once and never have to focus again if we were just going to walk sideways. Walking towards the camera is a very common scenario for a lot of people. I know you said it wasn't that common that people do that on your autofocus video, but it's very, very common, mate. And a camera of 2017, I'm not going to lie to you, should be capable and slightly better than the GH5 is. Do I like my GH5? Love it. Would I sell it? No. Do I think it's best camera I've had for video? Yes. Do I wish the autofocus was slightly better? Yes. Am I a professional? Yes. Do I need autofocus? Can I get by without it? Yes. But would I like to have it under my belt? Definitely. And other cameras can do it. No problem. As Matt showed the A6500, absolutely flawless. And I think that's, like you say, that's what he's comparing it to, really. He's saying, well, look at this camera that's been out. I think all the Sony series, they all focus fantastic in follow focus. And I think that's like what he's comparing it to. You know, this is great. GH5 came out 2 weeks ago in 2017, and it's good. I mean, I would go as far as to say it's pretty good. I like the way you can pull focus, but I mean, to be fair, you've been doing that a long time on 70D. You've been able to pull focus, touch the background, set point. In fact, you just touch the screen and it automatically, it's like pull focus without messing around with points. So again, it's like Apple. We've got a MacBook with an i7 in it in 2017. That came out in 2012, pal. You know what I mean? And they're like raving against this thing that's been out years. But they're really good salespeople and they know how to skank people and get people to buy technology that actually ain't that new. And that's what's happening here. The autofocus system ain't that great. My subscribers know that I tell the truth. And it works fantastic sometimes. It could be working fantastic right now. I hope it is. But sometimes it just don't work fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. As a professional, I just fix it on the spot. I'll either bang it in manual, I'll touch the screen. There's loads of fixes, and for any of my subscribers, I'm not talking to you, Photo Joseph, now, because you'll already know. But any of my subscribers that get a bit stuck and I'd like to know how I overcome when it doesn't autofocus, then I'll do a video on that also. One of the great things that Panasonic does is you can flick the switch on the back of the camera to manual, not your lens on the camera, and you can touch my face and it'll focus and then it won't focus again. It'll just focus once unless I touch the screen and drag the box over my face again. That's a stunning feature, and that's one of the ones that I use at brides. When I'm at the, or you can press the shutter and sometimes it'll just pick my face up, and then as soon as it's focused, it won't focus again because you've got it in manual on the back. It'll only focus if you physically touch the screen or press the button for it to focus, then it won't focus again. So like for this talking head shot now, I wouldn't have gone out of focus once. But for the sake of the eggs, we'll just have a little walk up and come up a little bit closer again. My settings are on +1 and +1. I'll also back up. Now, you won't hear me going quieter and louder because I am using a lav mic. Sorry about the noise, but I have got kids. I will walk up a little bit quicker and we'll have a little go there and we'll just see how quick it focused. But you can clearly see the delay already, how long that took. Now, I can speed that up in the settings. Let's just see though now it's got me, if it holds me. I found out that I thought the GH5 was quite good once it got old here, although I think it's hunting now. But we'll bang it up to 200mm. We'll see how this goes. This should be a pretty challenging situation for it now. This would be a challenging... I'd like to see the A6500 at 200mm this close up. I don't even think it's focused on me yet. Now, I'm not saying if I play with the settings I can't get it better, but a camera in 2017 should have grabbed focus by now. There, look at that. All that length of time. It's a 2017 camera, mate. It should have done that 5 seconds previously to how long it took. Thanks for watching. Please don't think I'm having a go at anybody, because I'm not. And